I would like to call to order the July 8th, 2026 meeting of the Manhattan Beach Planning Commission. For participants of the meeting on Zoom, including applicants and members of the public, we will mute your microphone until we call on you to speak. When the chair invites public comments from Zoom participants, please use the raise hand feature if you would like to speak on the item. The secretary will call on you and unmute your microphone when it is your turn to speak. On mobile devices, tap the three dots at the bottom of the screen to expand the menu and select the raise hand option. It may also be necessary to then select the three dots to the right of the reactions to access the raise hand option if not readily available. On a laptop or desktop, click the raise hand button located on the bottom toolbar. If the option is hidden, please select full screen to enter the entire menu. If it is still not displayed, select the three dots on the right end of the toolbar to access the raise hand option or click on the react or reaction icon on the toolbar to access the reactions panel. Additionally, please ensure you are using the most up-to-date version of Zoom, as certain features may not work correctly or may be arranged differently in older versions. When you are speaking, please silence any audio on your device to avoid feedback. Furthermore, since not all participants are attending via video, please always announce your name prior to speaking so that the audio participants can follow who is speaking. All right. Commissioner Schechter, would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Happy to.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. May we have roll call, please?
Okay. Vice Chair Sistos,
I'm here.
Commissioner Schechter,
Here.
Commissioner Seemack,
Here.
Commissioner Traeger,
Here.
Chair Hackett.
Here.
Real quick, if I may, Chair Hackett, I'd like to announce for the record that remote attendance is being conducted in accordance with the Brown Act requirements for the agenda and noticing. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next is the approval of the agenda for today's meeting. This is the time for the Planning Commission to notify the public of any changes to the agenda. Commissioners, are there any questions? Nope.
No.
Is there a motion to approve? And we're not using VoteCast for this either, correct?
Correct. Once you have a motion
Okay.
and a second, we'll be able to do a roll call vote.
Motion to approve.
Second. All right, I have a motion from Commissioner Traeger and a second from Commissioner Schechter. Can we please have a vote?
Sorry.
We have to do roll call vote right
Okay.
now. Yeah.
Vice Chair Sistos,
Aye.
Commissioner Traeger,
Aye.
Commissioner Schechter,
Aye.
Commissioner Seemack,
Aye.
and Chair Hackett.
Aye. This is the time for public comments. Members of the public may speak on any item within the subject matter jurisdiction of the Planning Commission that is not on the agenda. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. There will be a timer on the screen. If you would like to provide public comments from your seat, please inform the meeting clerk or raise your hand. Staff will provide a handheld microphone to ensure your comments are heard. Is there anyone who wishes to speak? Do we have any participants on Zoom?
No one on Zoom that wishes to speak at the moment.
Thank you so much. Next is the approval of minutes for the June 24th, 2026 meeting. Commissioners, are there any questions or comments on the minutes? Nope. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second. I have a motion from Commissioner Seemack and a second from myself, Chair Hackett. Can we have a vote, please?
Chair Sistos,
Aye.
Commissioner Seemack,
Yes. Aye.
Commissioner Traeger. Aye. Commissioner Schechter,
Abstain.
And Chair Hackett?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item is a continued public hearing to consider adoption of a resolution to amend the permitted hours of operation for an existing eating and drinking establishment located at 309 Manhattan Beach Boulevard. Before I request a report from city staff, I would like to ask if any commissioners have had any ex parte communications to disclose related to this item. Ex parte communications would include meeting with the applicant or other interested parties to hear about the project or concerns, and if commissioners have visited the project site. May we have a staff, oh, sorry, any ex parte communications? No. I'm moving through this thing.
No.
Okay.
Just passing by the site since we last considered.
Okay, great, thank you. I have nothing to disclose at this time, so may we have a staff report?
Absolutely. Thank you, Chair Hackett. At this time, I'd like to call up Associate Planner Tari Kuvengwa. She'll be making the presentation for the item.
Is it?
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Planning Commissioners. My name is Tari Kuvengwa, and I am the project planner for this agenda item before you today, which is the continuation of a public hearing for a one-year review of a use permit amendment for a restaurant that's located at 309 Manhattan Beach Boulevard. In 2024, the Planning Commission approved a use permit amendment and a coastal development permit for the expansion of an existing restaurant onto the second story, including with outdoor dining. The applicants were also granted a one-year trial period for expanded hours for both the indoor and outdoor areas of the second story. In February of this year, the applicant submitted a request for continued use of those expanded hours for their second story operations. In order to request continued use of those hours, a public hearing was required, and that trial period was scheduled to end last month. On June 10th, a public hearing was conducted with the Planning Commission to consider the applicant's request. Public comments were received, prior to and during the public hearing. At that commission hearing, a few actions were taken. The hearing was continued to today's date. Staff was directed to prepare a resolution to approve the applicant's request for the commission's consideration, and the expiration of that one-year trial period was stayed. This table provides a comparison of the standard operating hours that the applicant would be subject to if their request was denied on the far right. And then in the middle column, highlighted in orange, are the expanded hours that their request is asking to be made permanent for the second story. Staff has drafted a resolution for the Commission's consideration to approve the applicant's request. A copy of that draft resolution is attached to the staff report, and it does two things. First, it modifies a condition in the original 2024 use permit amendment that makes those expanded hours the permanent hours for the second story, and it also deletes a condition from that resolution that references the one-year trial period. Staff's recommendation is for the Commission to continue and close the public hearing, and to also adopt the resolution approving the applicant's request. That concludes my presentation. I'm available for any questions, and the applicant team is also present. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions of staff at this time? Vice Chair Sistos?
Yes, I just had one question. That is, upon closing the patio at 11 o'clock, will the doors be closed? I guess that's my only question, is how can we just want to ensure that at 11, when the patio is closing, that if the interior of the second floor is staying open until midnight, 1, 2 a.m., that we're ensuring that the noise isn't carrying out past 11. So I know there are glass doors. I just wanted to confirm that either that's written in or that the restaurant has understanding of that process to ensure no noise is carrying after 11.
Allow me one moment to look through the conditions in the draft resolution and the one from 2024, because both will govern the second story.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, if you're looking at Resolution 24-13, which is attached to the staff report, if you look on page 5 at condition number 10, when it speaks about live entertainment, it says that the patio doors and windows shall be closed when live entertainment is occurring, but there isn't a general condition that says the door between the indoor and outdoor patio must remain closed when not being used.
Okay, thank you. I mean, that's something, I guess, is an open question to my fellow commissioners, is whether that's something that we would want to add in, or we think it's okay and we can just carry on as forward. That was my only thought.
Maybe before we dive into that, do we want to give the applicant a chance to address that if possible, and then we can address it in commissioner deliberations?
Sure.
Maybe that would be appropriate. Does anyone have any questions of staff before we invite individuals to speak at this time? Okay, thank you very much. I will now reopen the public hearing. As a reminder, speakers should be registered with the speaker host, and each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. If you would like to provide public comments from your seat, please inform the meeting clerk or raise your hand. Staff will provide a handheld microphone and ensure your comments are heard. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on this item? And I guess I will start with the applicant if they're willing to speak first.
Good afternoon. Jordan Cressman, Esperanza. We don't mind closing the doors. We do it right now. And like I mentioned last time, we're not going to have entertainment, so I don't think sound would be an issue either way.
Okay,
So,
great. Thank you very much. Do we have any other members that wish to speak or participants on Zoom?
No public comments on Zoom.
Okay. And then Vice Chair Sisto, sorry, did you want to ask the applicant anything?
No, I didn't have any other follow-on questions. I guess the decision point for us as a commission is whether we would want to write that in as a general thing. Like, they're not doing it today, which is fine. That's as of this moment right now. But this, will supersede them and any, future management, future restaurants, or anything like that. So it may be something we consider to add in, even though it's something that's already, taken care of at this point in time.
Okay. If we have no other participants, I will close the public hearing. All right. We'll now close the public hearing. And now is the time for commissioner deliberations. Let's start with Commissioner Seemack. Do you have any questions or comments?
I thought at the last meeting, they talked about no entertainment on the second floor. Was that addressed in the resolution?
We decided not to move forward with that. I think we decided to allow them to continue to have that as an option.
Yeah, it's currently not part of their operation, as they just mentioned as well, but for the interior area, we did not, the commission didn't recommend any change to what the conditions actually stated.
That's all I had.
Yeah, very good. Do we have any other comments, or does anyone want to speak to Vice Chair Sisto's comment about adding in that the doors be closed? I'll say, I personally think if it's a practice they already do and it's no huge imposition to staff and something we can just write in without staying it, I'm fine with adding it in. It's a good point, right? Just to make sure that the concern we were trying to address is actually,
Yeah, if that's the direction that the commission wants to go, I've got a draft language for a condition that I can provide.
Is that something we'd be able to vote on today?
Yeah.
I don't feel strongly either way. I would be in favor of adopting the resolution as revised and proposed by city staff today, but if people feel strongly, that's fine.
I think if we can insert it without making them return for a third bite at the apple here, that's fine with me. If I remember correctly, the applicants actually offered to voluntarily to have a condition where there would not be, live entertainment on that second floor at all. So, seems like they're very, very willing to comply with restricting the noise. So if it's something we can do easily, I think they've been very cooperative.
yeah. And just for clarity to staff, I think we're talking about just the doors, not revisiting the live music. Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with having that added in. So, and also just thank you to staff and thank you to the applicant. I know that this was a little bit of a tedious process having to come back before us. And also if anyone's coming back to this meeting or they're watching after the fact or someone's watching on Zoom but not necessarily wanting to participate, I would invite them to go back to the June 10th meeting where it was a very long discussion how we arrived at the conditions that are being put forth. Just for the record, if someone's watching and feels like this is something we're sort of glossing over and moving through quickly. So with all of that being said.
If I may, I'll read out a draft condition that you may want to consider in any motion that you're making. The condition that staff would propose, including based on the commission's recommendations or discussion deliberation here, would be as stated, the second-story patio doors shall remain closed when the patio is closed. Period.
Fantastic, thank you. All right.
I think that works. And I think to Chair Hackett's point, like we did have a lengthy, discussion and debate about it. And I do think that it is important for residents who are concerned about noise in general that they do bring those noise complaints forward and have those on file. Because when we reviewed this particular restaurant, this particular situation, there were no noise complaints on file. And that's part of what led us to the decision that we ultimately made about the length of duration of time on the outdoor patio. I know there were some residents that were concerned about that. So I would just reiterate that, if concerns continue, if there seems to be any issue by extending it an additional hour, please bring that forward. And ultimately that can circle back around to us if necessary to make any adjustments. But we feel comfortable with the decision based on the prior deliberations that we had on the topic and, the past data that we had to review with regards to, the extended opening hours on the second floor patio. So we don't anticipate it being an issue. If it is, please let us know.
Thank you very much. That's a great point. So it appears at this time that we are ready for a decision. If one of our commissioners would like to make a motion, please do so right now.
I can take a stab at it.
All right.
I'd like to offer a motion to continue and close the public hearing and also to approve the applicant's request with the edit indicated by Mr. Firestone that when the patio is closed, the patio doors remain closed.
I would second that.
Is that good? Do we have to have the
Yeah,
language adopt the resolution?
Yeah, it would basically be that you're making a motion to adopt the resolution as presented by staff, including the amended or the additional condition as proposed.
So amended.
Perfect. All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Schechter and a second from Commissioner Traeger. May we please have a vote?
Vice Chair Sistos,
Aye.
Commissioner Traeger,
Aye.
Commissioner Schechter,
Aye.
Commissioner Seamat,
Aye.
and Chair Hackett.
Aye.
Motion
Motion
passes.
passes 5-0.
Congratulations. Okay, the next item is the consideration of the Omnibus Zone text amendments to the Manhattan Beach Municipal Code, Manhattan Beach Local Coastal Program to clarify existing regulations, ensure internal consistency, and maintain compliance with state laws. May we have the staff report?
Thank you, Chair Hackett. At this point, I would like to call up Maricela Guillen. She'll be making the presentation. Before she starts, I just wanted to provide a quick kind of idea of what the issue and the item at hand is, which Maricela will get into in more detail. This is an opportunity that that staff is taking to conduct some cleanup of our zoning code and local coastal program through a group of code amendments that are non-substantive, really intended to provide some clarification. It's something that a lot of cities do and that we likely will be doing on a regular basis over the coming years. So nothing in this presentation and in these amendments are intended to be anything creating or modifying policy in any significant way. So I just wanted to make sure the commission is aware of that. That's why we did not have a study session on this item. All the issues and amendments that are being considered are very simple in nature. So with that, I'll turn it over to Maricela Guillen. She'll be making a presentation.
Good afternoon, Chair Hackett and members of the Planning Commission. Maricela Guillen, Associate Planner. This afternoon, we'll be discussing the Omnibus Zone text amendments. As part of the Community Development's work plan, the Planning Division is responsible for updating and maintaining Title 10 of the Manhattan Beach Municipal Code, as well as Chapter A of the Manhattan Beach Local Coastal Plan. Some of these updates include Omnibus Zone text amendments, which involve general housekeeping code amendments that do not establish new policy. The purpose of the Omnibus Zone text amendments are to clarify regulations and ensure internal consistency to better align existing codes with established policy direction, as well as to maintain compliance with state law. The following chapters and sections in the MBMC and the MBLCP are included in this Omnibus Zone text amendment on the slide before you. The first section identified in the Manhattan Beach Municipal Code, Section 10.01060, include minor changes to this section, updating the area district map to a more modern map shown on this slide, adding the existing residential overlay district to the overlay district chart, as well as correcting some minor typos. No policy changes are proposed, and all proposed revisions are administrative in nature. This next section involves revising, adding, or removing certain definitions to the MBMC and the MBLCP. The first being floor area buildable. This is also coined as BFA. This is an existing term that has been updated for clear direction on how stairs and vertical shafts, including elevators, are counted towards allowable BFA. The following diagrams shown on this slide were included as attachment 3 to the staff report. The second term, grade, ground level finished, and grade finished, are both existing definitions that were clarified to specify how height is measured. Hedges included in the MBMC and the MBLCP have established development standards for fences, walls, and hedges within residential zones. However, neither code defines hedge, making enforcement of hedges heights difficult. The new definition of hedge has been added to assist in the enforcement of hedge height. If the term is adopted, handouts will be updated to assist with education on proper hedge maintenance. Both terms, lot flag and lot or property lot line front, have been modified to provide guidance on identifying front property lines for purposes of applying setback requirements. The diagrams have been prepared and will be added to informational handouts to describe front property line setbacks for different types of flag lots. Open space shared, open space, usable story, and story, first are, each of these terms have been updated to clarify that required egress wells are excluded from open space and story requirements. This change is consistent with current practice. The term proscenum garage has been removed because it is not referenced elsewhere in the code and is obsolete. This section regulates development standards in the residential zones. The following standards have been reviewed and updated as follows. The first being building wall height and required setbacks. This section of the code was amended to clarify when an additional 3-foot building wall setback is required. The diagram on the slide shows that when a building wall is taller than 24 feet in height, an additional 3-foot setback is required. Amendments to this section further clarify this existing provision and is consistent with current practice. The second is a minor amendment to the fence wall and hedge requirements, which were made to clarify how existing height requirements are measured. In addition, the existing diagrams have been updated to provide clarity and ensure consistency with proposed amendments. And this was also included as attachment 3 to the staff report. This section was retitled from additional front and corner side setback requirements to supplemental setback requirements to align with current practice. Other revisions to this section include revising deck calculations for the purpose of calculating supplemental setbacks, and clarifying language was also added to ensure consistent application to this standard. This section is proposed to be repealed to treat yard requirements for religious assembly uses in the same manner as other public and semi-public uses in the city. Minor amendments are proposed to the accessory structure regulations to address common project types and modernize existing standards. The first being utility cabinets in the front yard setback. Standards to allow utility cabinets in the front yard setback aim to address a gap in existing code. If they cannot be placed underground or in the public right-of-way as determined by a city engineer, as proposed, utility cabinets may be placed in the front yard setback. These changes are necessary based on changes in regulations established by SoCal Edison. After publishing the agenda last week, minor changes to the proposed language in section MBMC and MBLCP section 10.52050 are proposed as follows. Staff is recommending that the Planning Commission consider these proposed changes shown in red when making a motion. Based on current practice and attempts to modernize the code, clarifying language is proposed to measure required setbacks from the water line and to clarify setback standards for underground mechanical equipment. Setback standards are consistent with accessory structure regulations adopted from last year. Both Chapter 1068 and Section 1084.120 were revised to ensure consistent retitling and to simplify review criteria language. Proposed amendments do not modify the intent of the section and/or chapter. A public notice was published in the Beach Reporter on June 25th, 2026, and posted at City Hall and other city locations. Staff has received no comments as part of this omnibus effort. The project qualifies for a categorical exemption from the California Environmental Quality Act, otherwise known as CEQA, pursuant to sections 15.301, existing facilities, 15.303, new construction or conversion of small structures, and 15.305, minor alterations and land use limitations. Next steps include the Planning Commission's recommendations would be forwarded to City Council for their consideration, tentatively scheduled for August 4th. Upon City Council adoption of the proposed amendments, City staff will submit the MBLCP amendments to the Coastal Commission for certification. Staff's recommendation is to conduct a public hearing, adopt a resolution recommending that the City Council approve zone text amendments to the MBMC and MBLCP, and determine the proposed amendments are categorically exempt from CEQA. This concludes staff's presentation. Staff, including Assistant Planner Fel Cortez and I, are available to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do my fellow commissioners have any questions of staff at this time?
I do.
All right, let's start with you. We'll start with Vice Chair Sistos, and then we'll go with in person.
Thank you. And thank you for your work on this and cleaning it up. I think it'll be nice to have the language consistent, pull out some old terms that we don't use anymore, and get everything so that it's all being compared side by side. So my question was just if you could clarify, please, what appears to be, so this is page 17, which is 10.12.030. I just wanted some clarification on number 3, the rear setback, which looks like a net add, which is that calculation of the rear setback and how that's determined. I know we spent a lot of time discussing rear setbacks in prior meetings, so I don't know if this is a reflection of that, but just wanted some clarity on whether or not that is a net add, that section A under 3 for rear setback.
That section was added as part of this omnibus. As you recall, we have done 2 rounds of housing element zone text amendments over the last few years. And within those 2 rounds, this section was omitted as part of one of them. So this is kind of a cleanup item to just add this that was already adopted previously from the first round of housing element zone text amendments.
Okay, so there just wasn't any prior discussion of this particular item before. So it is a net add, but it's consistent with what we've already
That's
reviewed.
correct.
Okay, thank you. And then my only other question or point of clarification is just for those who are viewing residents, and that is that ADUs and density bonus projects are exempt from Manhattan Beach Municipal Code. So these code requirements don't apply to those projects. Maybe exempt isn't the exact right term, but I just want to offer some clarification for those who may be wondering about setbacks or height requirements for those particular types of projects.
So for state density bonus projects, they can request waivers or concessions to ask that certain code standards not apply to them. So yes, they can ask for relief from, let's say, a height standard or a setback standard as part of their request. And as far as ADUs go, there are certain minimums or setback standards and sort of minimum allowances that are set by state law.
Thank you. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Seemack.
Yeah, were any of these modifications driven by complaints or objections by the development community? Or are they just a housekeeping issue?
They are housekeeping. As part of weekly planning meetings, we are brought with discussions from projects that planners are working with developers, homeowners. And so if there's any inconsistencies, areas that need improvement for clarity, those have been tracked by city staff. And as part of this omnibus effort, those were evaluated and a series of those amendments were brought before you. So I would say yes, to some extent, that has been either brought up or discussed or areas where planners have come into discussions with developer or the other parts of the community.
And if I may add to that, I can definitely state that one of the items that is before you regarding the utility cabinets in a front yard setback, that has become an issue with some of the developers who are looking at building homes or structures that require a new transformer to be placed. In some instances, there's not room in the public right-of-way to place that, and the utility provider, Edison, they have very, very, very strict regulations regarding placement below grade, such that it almost doesn't work. Hence, we're building in this ability to actually place these in the front yard setback in an instance where there's no other option. So that one is driven to an extent by development community.
Thank you.
Yes, please.
Thank you for your careful work on this and great explanations. I just wanted to have a little discussion because the preface was that this is a cleanup or clarification of existing regulations and not establishing any new policy. And specifically, I'm wondering things like hedges are defined for the first time here. And so is that making policy, or is there some underlying policy that's been discussed that led you to come up with that definition?
The existing code requires the city to regulate hedges. The problem is there's no definition within the code of what a hedge is. So it is just a practicality that we're adding the definition versus creating new policy.
Can you use a dictionary to define it? Webster's dictionary?
I think that the sort of physical and spatial dimensions of what we consider a hedge is not going to come from a dictionary definition. So, yeah.
And then one other question, just one other provision that I had particular concern about is the elimination of the religious assembly language. Can we just have a little bit of background on that?
Sure. I would say I would defer to city attorney's office if there's any other further points for clarification. But it's my understanding as part of this work cleanup is to treat religious assembly uses the same as any other assembly use or public use in the city. So that provision had further requirements on that religious assembly use that otherwise other assembly uses don't have the same requirements. Thereby, to treat everything more fairly, we would remove that provision.
That's correct. The only thing I would add is probably about 6 years ago, it was an issue in the city that they were treating religious assemblies different. And under the Constitution, they should be treated just the same as any other assembly.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Trigger, do you have any questions?
I hope I'm not asking the same question as Commissioner Schechter, but regarding the hedges, I just want to clarify. So this is not, we're not changing the requirements around the hedges. We're just clarifying what the hedges are. So the size of the hedges that were allowed / required before are the same size now.
Yes, yeah.
I don't have any further questions.
Okay, great. I do not have any further questions at this time. My commissioners did a great job of addressing everything. So at this point, we will open the public hearing. And as a reminder, speakers should be registered with the speaker host, and each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. If you would like to provide public comments from your seat, please inform the meeting clerk or raise your hand. Staff will provide a handheld microphone to ensure your comments are heard. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on this item? Probably more specifically on Zoom, because no new faces in here.
Yeah, no comments on Zoom.
All right, fantastic. All right, I will now close the public hearing, and we can get started with commissioner deliberations. So who wants to kick us off?
I'll start it off. I think we just passed the thing. I mean, it's just housekeeping, and you get it right, and then you solve a lot of problems. You don't create other problems with ambiguity in the code. So to me, it seems like, it almost seems like we should do this every 3 to 5 years, because I'm sure you guys have a parking lot of issues that you put in there, and it's just, when are we going to really change the code? Because every little action requires an action by the commission, but by compiling them all together, we just do it once, and we have a lot, hedges and religious organizations and setbacks, et cetera, addressed. So, yeah, I think we should probably do this, I don't say on an annual basis, but on a more regular basis, so we're kind of up to speed, and as issues come up, that can wait, we do this maybe one more time in my tenure here, or maybe 2 more times. Really up to you guys. I mean, you know what problems it causes or what issues are uncovered by it. So let's try to do this routinely, if there's a reason to do it. I'm not just saying let's do it every year or every other year. If there's enough stuff in the parking lot where it requires action and it's causing your resources to be monopolized by these issues, we should do it. That's kind of my 2 cents.
Thank you. Does anyone have anything else to add at this time? When I turn my head around, Vice Chair Sistos, I'm looking at you.
I'll just add, I really appreciate the careful consideration and reading and consistency. I mean, these type of things can always be improved. And I wanted to particularly mention some of the diagrams I think are really helpful for the public in understanding some of the descriptions. So thank you for those.
Yeah, some of those diagrams look like they were done about 20, 30 years ago on a mimeograph machine. I'm dating myself, but you understand.
Yeah, actually, will attachment 3 be somewhere easy to reference for people trying to navigate the code? Because it is extremely helpful. I know it was probably just for the purpose of this meeting, but.
Thank you. Some of the diagrams are actually, some of the diagrams will actually be put into the zone text amendment, such as that area district slide and the fence and wall and hedges. Some of them will just be used for informational handouts that we have, and the plan is after adopted, or if adopted, that would be implemented or updated as part of those handouts that are available to the public.
Okay, great, thank you. Commissioner Traeger, do you have any comments or?
I don't have any comments. I'm ready to
Yeah.
motion.
And then here, before we move forward, Vice Chair Sistos, do you have any comments or anything you want to weigh in on?
I don't know. I think that the staff has done a great job of this work, and I'm ready to move forward as well.
All right, fantastic. It appears we are ready for a motion. So, commissioners, do we have a motion?
I'll move that we adopt the resolution and recommending council to approve the resolution.
All right.
Was I redundant in that?
You're good on that. Before you ask for a second on that, wanted to clarify that that yourself, Commissioner Seemack, that you are comfortable with the additional amendments that staff showed up on the screen with relation to the utility cabinets. And if you can just note that that would be part of your motion to wrap those additional modifications in. If you go back to the slide that we had where we put up a few additional comments, we'll jump to that real quick. So the text that is in the draft resolution is been modified so that it would read as shown here. It's a couple additional clarification, cleanup language kind of things. And staff would recommend that the text in the draft resolution be replaced with this language. If you're good with that, just note so.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
All right.
Okay, great. So we have a motion from Commissioner Seemack to approve everything as is with the added language as provided on slide 14. Do we have a second?
I second.
All right, fantastic. We have a motion from Commissioner Seemack and a second from Commissioner Schechter. May we please have a vote?
Chair Hackett,
Aye.
Commissioner Seemack,
Aye.
Commissioner Traeger,
Aye.
Commissioner Schechter,
Aye.
and Vice Chair Sistos.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. Now we'll turn it over to Planning Manager Feinstone for any director updates.
Great, thank you. So a couple things. First, I wanted to note that there is a possibility, just kind of following up on the last item, that the omnibus may not go to council on the on the August 4th date. That meeting may have other items on it and might not be good to stay that late to have something like this considered, so that may be adjusted. The other thing I wanted to mention, if you can pull up that slide that I showed you, I'll note a couple of, while you're getting that up, I'll note a couple other things. There was a small hotel project at 1145 Highland that the commission considered about 2 years ago. That project was set to expire, and the applicant did submit a request and was granted an extension for that approval. So they've got another year to start making progress on that. And then HESTA, the Housing Element Zone Text Amendments that were before you a couple months ago, those have been brought to council, and those are going to be, or they were adopted and had second reading last night. So 30 days will be effective, I guess 29 from now, for the portions that are within the municipal code. And then the portions within the LCP will have to go through the Coastal Commission's review prior to becoming effective. And then the last thing I wanted to announce is the conceptual design preview open house that we're doing for Project Pulse. It's the final opportunity for the public to provide input on potentials to conceptual designs that will be brought forward to the City Council for consideration for the two properties that are part of Project Pulse. That's 400 Manhattan Beach Boulevard, where the U.S. Bank was, and then the old parking lot 3 site, or the parking lot 3 site. So we've been working with a design consultant on that. They've provided some conceptual drawings that we're going to be sharing with the public, get a little additional feedback there, and then we'll be presenting those to council in the coming months. Wednesday, July 15th, 6 p.m. over at the Jocelyn Center, and we encourage everyone to attend. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Do we have any Planning Commission items from any of our fellow commissioners?
No.
No, none at this time?
No.
All right. Do we have a tentative agenda for the July 22nd meeting?
At this point, we don't anticipate holding a meeting on the 22nd. If that winds up being the case, we will be sending out a cancellation notice.
Okay, great, thank you. We are adjourned to the July 22nd, 2026 Planning Commission regularly scheduled meeting at 3:00 p.m.